It is shocking how far you can get in corporate life without being responsible for results. Your mission statement is about as useful as a CEO who doesn't know the Wi-Fi password. If an execution plan, heavy on the plan, isn't built in, then it's just a fancy paragraphs with a bunch of words. Whenever I start a conversation with a new executive client, they just love to tell me about their mission statement. That is until I ask how they actually execute upon said mission statement. Unlocking human potential. Okay, but why is your staff turnover rate 62%? What exactly are you unlocking? The door to leave? Building a culture of belonging. Okay, but your employees stayed an average of 9 months in the last 5 years. Reimagining the future of work. Well, clearly your staff is reimagining working elsewhere. And my favorite is my startups that have these word soup like agile and adaptive ecosystem, disrupting legacy norms, scalable solutions for tomorrow's challenges. Buddy, you sell software, calm down, okay? And the core issue here is there's so much focus on the mission statement and so little attention and intention on the actual execution of said mission statement. Your biggest technology initiative has been stalled for 9 months. That is not creating the future of work. You have a spaghetti bowl of technology solutions that's totally misaligned with your processes and your core operations. At that point, it doesn't matter what your mission is unless your mission is to lose money. Then congratulations, you're achieving it. In my humble experience in all of my work, I've come to the conclusion that the issue here is that the modern executive has never been accountable to anything. They've just been adjacent to people who can deliver. It is shocking how far you can get in corporate life without being responsible for results. Just ask the average VP at a Fortune 500 company. Many of these top executives have just mastered the art of influence in meetings and dodging blame. When they're actually in charge of executing on a mission, especially when it comes to our new frontier of a technical company, then they don't have the ability to make that mission actionable because they've never had to make anything actionable in their entire career. And I'll give you a story. For example, Kodak, their mission for much of the 20th century revolved around being a leader in the photography industry. I think it was something like empowering people to capture memories through innovating photography solutions. But when digital photography came to the forefront, they weren't doing much of innovating those customer-centric solutions they talked so much about in their mission statement. Ironically, they invented the first digital camera, and I see this all the time. Very smart people in the engineering space and executives that are unable to transition and transform that business model into meeting new customer needs. Huge misalignment here on their mission. Innovation, industry leadership, customer centricity, and their execution was clinging to these legacy products and really underestimating how the digital world would change their core customer, which led to their eventual bankruptcy in 2012. Even the most visionary mission statements can be rendered completely ineffective if the company's actions and strategic decisions do not mimic it. If you're going to live and breathe by a company mission statement and that's going to be your whole personality, that's totally fine. But build backwards. Understand the why, the execution, the alignment at all levels of the organization, and then understand what you're trying to achieve as a company. Don't hold your entire community responsible for something some fancy suits made up in a boardroom over a Panera lunch. In order to be a profitable business that is receiving return on investments on their technology and people process specifically, you're going to need to stop announcing values and start driving outcomes. And just like every other layer of the organization, executives are directly responsible for those outcomes. I am so ready for an accountability at the top revolution.